Hey guys, this is God of Politics, and before we get started, please like this video and please subscribe to the channel. Also follow me on Twitter and join the Discord. I will have both of those linked down in the description. But today is a video that I haven't actually done yet, and this is going to be my governor election predictions. I have not done one of these before, but I'm going to be doing it today. Obviously, we have many important governor elections, some that are going to be less important, not too many big states. Obviously, these are the governor's elections here. Before this election, you will have, without these being decided, 20 Democrats and 19 Republicans. And we are going to be filling out the map for who I think is going to win these races. We have 7 Republican districts, 7 Republican governorships up for re-election, and 4 Democratic governorships up for re-election. But really, it's only 3 because Steve Bullock is term limited in the state of Montana. So as always, we will start off by doing the safe seats. I think that Delaware is going to be a safe seat. You have John Carney here. He won by 19 points in 2016, which wasn't too much for him, but I don't see any reason that he wouldn't easily win now. We also have the state of West Virginia is going to be safe. Obviously, we had Jim Justice here, who ran as a Democrat in 2016 and actually won by 7 points, with also a left-leaning party getting 6% of the vote. But now he has switched the Republican Party as of 2017, and West Virginia actually has only had before 2017 not had a Republican governor since the year 2000. Obviously, they had Joe Manchin as their governor, some other Democratic governors, but now that he has Jim Justice as a Republican, and that is going to be a safe Republican seat. Also, the state of North Dakota is going to be a safe Republican seat. You have Doug Burgum here, who has a 58% approval rating, and it is North Dakota, a very red state. I don't see any reason why he wouldn't win it by a safe margin. Same thing with the state of Utah. You have Spencer Cox here, who is the lieutenant governor who is running here. The incumbent governor is not running again, not running for a third term. So you have the lieutenant governor currently, Spencer Cox, running for re-election. And obviously, this is one of the safest red states in the country. Democrats haven't even had a governor here since 1985. And then the last seat that is going to be a safe seat here is the state of Washington. You have Jay Inslee here, who won by 9 in 2016, which was more than what he won by in 2012 when it was 3 points in an open seat election in 2012. In 2016, he won by 9 points. He now has more name recognition running for president. He has been praised for his coronavirus response and criticized, but probably more praise. And I don't see any reason Republicans don't really have any good candidates. I don't see any reason Jay Inslee wouldn't win by a pretty substantial margin. Next, we are going over to the state of New Hampshire first. New Hampshire, I believe, will be likely to the incumbent governor, which is Chris Sununu. Both Vermont and New Hampshire have a thing where the governors run every 2 years. In the last election, Chris Sununu won by 7 points in a blue wave year, and he also does have a 59% approval rating, so I don't see any reason why he wouldn't win, except for the fact that, it is New Hampshire, it is a bit of a closer state. I also believe that Vermont will be a likely Republican state. They have the governor Phil Scott here. He won by 15% last year, and that was a blue wave year. And the only reason I'm putting it as a likely margin is because he's running against the lieutenant governor David Zuckerman. He is the lieutenant governor. You could put that seat in play, but at the end of the day, it'll probably be a likely margin, probably around 8 to 9 points. The next seat we are going to be going to is the state of North Carolina. Now, this is actually a pretty big seat here, but I do think that it is going to be a lean Democratic state. Obviously, this state in the presidential election went by 5 points to Donald Trump, but a lot of people don't realize that year, 2016, was a flip. Roy Cooper beat an incumbent, Pat McCrory. In a year, Dems lost this state by 5 and did very poorly pretty much across the country, and he only won by 0.2 percentage points, but I believe that since he is running, obviously he is again running against the lieutenant governor, same thing in Vermont, but I do believe that he will expand on what he won by, which was only 0.2 percentage points in 2016, and he'll probably win by around 3%, because I also think that the presidential race is going to be a bit closer as well, but that seat I think will be a lean margin for Roy Cooper and the Democrats. The next seat we're going to be going to is the state of Indiana, which I believe will also be a likely margin. The only reason I'm putting in a likely margin is because there's a libertarian candidate running that might actually get some of the vote called Donald Rainwater, but you have Eric Holcomb here, who won in 2016 by 6 points. He's also running against Woody Myers. I don't know too much about him, but he is a Democratic candidate for it, and I think he'll probably end up winning by around 8 to 9 points. But you do have a Libertarian candidate that might take up some of the vote. That'll put it into a likely margin scenario. The next state we are going to be going to is the state of Missouri. Missouri is also going to be a likely margin. I'm almost going to put in a safe margin. I think this will also be about around 8 to 9 points. You have Mike Parson here, who won by 6 points in 2016. It could be a bit closer than that, but I think it'll probably be around 8 to 9 points, just due to the fact that, governorships are different from national politics, and you can have closer races that normally wouldn't be close at the presidential level or at the national level in general. But in terms of the governorship, this will be a likely margin. And the final state we are going to be going to is the state of Montana, which I believe is going to be a tilt Republican state. This is going to be actually very close because you have Steve Bullock, who's term limited, but his Lieutenant Governor Mike Cooney is running. He's probably going to be the candidate, obviously, and he's running against the Attorney General of the state, Tim Fox. And a lot of people don't know is that Montana hasn't really had many Republican governors in recent years. I think for only about 4 years in the past 20 years. Democrats are able to win here. They won in the Senate election in 2018, obviously, and they won with Steve Bullock in 2016. Steve Bullock won by 5 points. Now you have the lieutenant governor running. There is a chance he could put it in play, but I believe that at the end of the day, the Attorney General of the state, Tim Fox, will end up winning because, again, it is a Republican state. And Steve Bullock's not running anymore. He is running for Senate, which could make things closer in the governorship election, too. But overall, I think that this will be a tilt state for the Republicans, putting overall the Republicans at 27 seats and the Democrats at 23. So if we just fill this in on this map, which has all of the seats, Washington blue, Montana red, North Dakota red, Utah red, Missouri red, Indiana red, West Virginia red, Vermont, New Hampshire, and then we have the Democrats getting Delaware and North Carolina. We can see that you can obviously see the difference between state and national politics because we have Democratic governors in states like Kansas, Louisiana, Kentucky, those kinds of states. And then we have Republican governors in states like Vermont, which is one of the most liberal states in the country, and states like Massachusetts, which is also one of the most liberal states in the country. So you can see the definite difference between national politics and state and local politics, which is why so many of these races are actually closer than you might think. States like Missouri and Indiana and Montana, obviously. And it shows that Democrats can win in red states, Republicans can win in blue states. That's why they do have, obviously, you can call them rhinos in the Northeast, but it shows that state politics are different from national politics, and that's something you'll have to keep watching out for. Obviously, none of the nominees have been decided. I might do an updated election prediction once all the nominees are decided for these races, but this is just a preliminary prediction for the governorships races. What is the state of the governorships races? Because this is going to matter a lot because the redistricting is done after this, and a lot of these states have governor approval for them, and in states like Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Minnesota, there's going to be a lot of redistricting there because there is less seats for them, and they're going to have government approval, and those states now have Democratic governors, and that's going to be an important thing to watch out for. But yeah, 27 Republican governors, 23 Democratic governors, pretty close overall. But yeah, thank you all for watching this video. Please like and subscribe as always, and I will see you guys later.